Hi everyone, welcome back to GrantMe. Today I am here with Madison. She is a GrantMe student and she's gonna talk us through her scholarship journey, overcoming challenges, as well as how GrantMe helped her win scholarships. So Madison, the first question is tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm an 18-year-old student and I currently just graduated from CEGEP in Montreal, Quebec. So that's like pre-university. And I'm going to be starting at McGill in the fall. I really love basketball, music, and I'm quite involved with my community in a lot of different sectors. And yeah, that's me.
Perfect. What scholarships and did you win with GrantMe and what was the total amount?
Yeah, so I won the TD Scholarship for Community Leadership, which is a $70,000 scholarship. And I'm really grateful to GrantMe for their help and also for TD. And I also, at a few random universities, I was given like entrance bursaries, but I didn't end up attending those universities. So
Oh, wow, that's really impressive. The TD scholarship is a really prestigious scholarship. We've helped a lot of students at GrantMe get that one, and we've kind of, I think, even hired some of our own of the students that won that. So that's super impressive. How was the interview part of the TD scholarship? Did GrantMe help you with that, or did you kind of do it on your own? Like, were there any challenges when it came to that?
So it definitely was a lot of fun, the interview process. The TD scholarship is like they make the interview process really amazing. They include very prestigious panelists, so that's nice. Um, I think with regards to like challenges, one of the biggest things that GrantMe helped me with a lot was balancing professionalism with authenticity, like how much I want to be like a bubbly person and show myself off in these interviews, but also at the same time, like balance that with being professional and not being too, like too charismatic in these interviews at the risk of coming off like inauthentic or anything like that. But luckily, GrantMe was here to help me with a lot of interview prep, and that was great, especially like last minute interview prep. Mostly for emotional support, it was honestly amazing. People like Megan and Hunter that just they were like, you're going to be okay. You know your stuff. You know what you did. You're here because you want to be here and like because you put in the work to be here and you're going to be okay. And that just really, really helped with the interview process. Yeah. And another thing I wanted to mention to students is not to be scared of poker faces in interviews. I did have that in TD and I spent the next month freaking out about it, but it worked out and they have to keep a poker face. So don't worry about that.
No, that's great. And I'm so glad that Hunter and Megan really helped you in that process. And now I'm really curious, and I know the people watching this will probably be really curious about your community efforts and what kind of got you into getting the TD scholarship. So you're probably, I'm sure, do a bunch of stuff, but I want to ask you, what are you most proud of so far in what you've done?
So I think what I'm most proud of would probably, I would say two organizations. One would be my work with like St. John's Ambulance. So that's an ambulance program here in Montreal. Well, actually, they have it basically everywhere in Canada and actually all over the world. So you guys can apply if you'd like. You should have them in your respective provinces. Uh, I really love this organization because I think it took me a bit out of my comfort zone. There was a big emphasis on professionalism and showing up in proper uniform on time. And I think I have a bit, I love science, but I also love arts. And so in the arts realm, sometimes there's less emphasis on things like professionalism and more empathy, kindness, understanding, which are all really amazing traits. But I think it did help me take a more, as someone that's a big advocate, I tend to be a little more biased when approaching situations, whereas St. John's taught me a bit like how to be non-judgmental when approaching situations and how to tone down your biases. And then the other organization I'd say I'm really proud of working with has been Women Aware. So that's a conjugal violence center here in Montreal, and they're all just really amazing. We do peer support volunteering with survivors. And then we also have been creating a youth branch for education on healthy relationships among high school students.
Oh, perfect. And I really like your point about St. John's and the professionalism because back to your point about the TD interview, that is something that you kind of, had to struggle with too. And I'm sure that your experience with St. John's kind of helped in that process too. My next question is throughout the scholarship journey and writing the scholarships, whether that was TD or any of your entrance scholarships, what is one thing that you learned that you would tell other students?
So definitely one of the biggest reasons that I feel that I was able to progress in this like scholarship application and get positive responses was I had a teacher, well, not a teacher, an academic advisor at my school that really pushed me to stop trying to write like what you think they want to hear and instead just write like even if you have to do a big exercise before and just write all the stuff that you're passionate about and why you're passionate about them, not just saying I am passionate, but really like forcing yourself to ask, why do I care about these organizations? That is like what will take your application to the next level. And I think, yeah, that's advice that I really have for everyone. It's really when writing these applications, take the time to ask yourself, of course, like you did these, like you said, partly for the resume, partly because you're supposed to, partly because, I don't know, societal pressures, but there is going to be something inside you that draws you to specific organizations because you could have gotten the same goals with another organization, but you decided to choose that one. So try to really delve deep into like why you chose that organization and why it's important to you, and yeah, force yourself to ask those hard questions and take the time. And like I think that is my best advice, just really be authentic with why you do what you do.
Right. And one of we have a whole system, for every single part of GrantMe, whether that's the student success or whether that's essay writing. And one of the core principles we have in essay writing is to be compelling. And the number one way to be compelling is to be authentic. So you're totally right. That's exactly the advice that I've told other students too. Don't write what you think they want, right? A scholarship essay is not just a resume written out, and use relevant experiences. And of course, our essay editing team and our essay wizard helps a lot with that, with our inline recommendations and the turnaround time that the essay editing team has. And they're like experts in writing essays. So yeah, no, I'm super glad that that's actually really, really great advice. And so my next question is a little bit about how you managed your time as a TD winner and just a scholarship. I guess now you're an expert scholarship writer. And I can, tell that with like your community efforts and, school, maybe even a part-time job and writing these essays, you kind of have to be an expert in managing your time as well. And for other high achieving students, what would your top tip be in managing that time?
I definitely would say choose to invest yourself in organizations that you're really passionate about, because I think that it'll make you want to be there and like want to make time for that, rather than just like choosing a bunch of random things that you're not really sure you care about, and then before you know it, you're spread thin, and you can't really manage anything. So that would be the first thing. On top of that, don't be like scared to tell organizations when you feel you really just have too much on your plate. I mean, I think when you develop personal relationships with these organizations, and you're there for a long time and you're very committed, generally, especially like nonprofit organizations will not be vicious when saying like no, you can't take time off. And besides that, in terms of time management, I would say one thing that's really important is, of course, to prioritize your grades, especially if you're considering a professional degree. But if you plan everything out very well, like use a monthly calendar and etc., you should be able to still fit in stuff that you love while also prioritizing grades. And I think what they're looking for in candidates, well, you know, scholarship committees, they're looking for people that are really there because, like, are doing what they're doing because they want to be doing what they're doing, not just to fill a resume. And I think that's the most important part of volunteer work and managing which organizations you're choosing.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, asking the organization that you work with, just to, I need a little break, I need to focus on these scholarships, is a big part of prioritizing your needs. Because if you're prioritizing and investing in yourself now by, saying no to plans, or, saying no to, this one specific responsibility you have, that doesn't make you irresponsible, or that doesn't make you kind of like, oh, I can't deal with all of this. That actually, I would argue, make you more responsible, because you are investing in yourself and you are prioritizing, and you have that vision in your mind of what you want to do and how you're going to get through it. So that is definitely really great advice. And so now we've talked about, the pre-process, the interview. We've talked about your scholarship journey. Let's go in a little bit about your future. So you said you're going into McGill, which is a top school in Canada. So congratulations. And so what are you thinking in terms of programs, or in terms of, like, do you have a specific position in mind, or are you going to grad school? No pressure. Anything that you're thinking of.
So right now, my plan is to do a concentration in microbiology and immunology. And I'm either going to do that with a major in international development, or I might be doing a minor in international development and a minor in gender studies, sexuality, feminism, and social justice. It's a long name. I'm really interested in both science and political science. So that's like where I personally struggle. It's originally I thought I really wanted med school, and then I was like, wait, I love advocacy, maybe medical policy. I'm not sure. So for now, I'm kind of just seeing where it takes me. I'm doing the liberal program at McGill, so that's why I'm able to do like an arts major and a science concentration if I wanted to. It's like it's a smaller science course load rather than like the full major, so it's more manageable to do it with arts on the side. And so that still gives opportunities for graduate school if I graduate studies, if I'd like to pursue graduate studies in microbiology and immunology. But I'm also considering law school. That's a big path, but yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, having a lot of options is honestly a blessing. That means you're not, set on one thing, and that means you have big dreams and big goals. So that's really good. I think that wraps up our interview. Thank you so much for interviewing with me, and I'm so excited to see where you'll go next. And do you have any last words for our viewers?
I mean, I had said it a few times, but really, I can't stress this enough. In the application process, just take the time to really ask yourself why you care about these organizations, and really just like get it in there, get your point across for why you care about these, and even use like anecdotes, allusions, things like that. They really help get people's attention. And GrantMe pushes this too. Something that's really important is a good hook that's personal to you, and that isn't just like a basic hook. Like, try to really get something in that represents you as a person, and that will grab someone's attention. So that's my final advice.
Perfect. That is great advice. And with that, I will see you guys all next time.